Troy White. Troy, good to see you.
Thanks, Bart. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, great to have you here, and thanks for taking time during what is, I'm sure, a busy week of construction.
Yeah, this time of year we got a lot going on.
Well, today we thought we'd catch up on
Okay.
a few of the projects that you're working on and give our viewers an update. You should also know that you'll happily send out an email to anyone each week.
Oh yeah, I send out on all our projects. I send out weekly updates to everyone in the work zone. I always let them know this is what happened last week. This is what's happening next week. You know, the idea is to keep them abreast of progress and to make sure they're not surprised by the coming week. Because, you know, with construction, we do recognize there's always going to be those inconveniences. There's going to be times when you can't get out of your driveway. There's going to be a time we got to pour concrete for curbs and you got to stay out of your driveway. And we certainly don't want people to be surprised or, you know, we recognize the inconvenience, but we try to minimize the inconvenience as much as we can. But yeah, and then I have a master list, and I've got just people who have never been in a work zone, and they ask, hey, can you put me on the list to know what's going on? So they get they're on the list, and they just get the update for every project every week.
For someone that can't get out of their driveway, will you write them a note for their employer?
No. We suggest maybe they park around the corner on the street or something else, you know.
All right, well, let's start. We're going to look at a project on Blakely, which is it's a very busy stretch of road between Elm and Pleasant.
Yeah, it's one of our local streets, and parts of that had never really been completely built out. You know, there's parts of that that still didn't have sidewalk and curb and gutter, but it also has old water main, had old sewer. So this one's getting the full works. It's getting new water main, new sanitary sewer, and then we're going to build the road, and we're going to finish building those parts that have never been built, like those places where there was gaps in the sidewalk. Those will be filled in.
A lot of people use this as a shortcut to bypass Elm.
I don't know about that. Actually, that's kind of from my old neighborhood where I grew up, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
I've done that. I guess I'm the one that'll do that.
Right. I rode my bike through there when I was a little kid, but I know it's also on the bus route, so it does get that traffic. You know, the city bus route goes through there.
Pretty major, so that it looks like it's going to be several weeks.
Oh yeah. Right now they've got the sewer built, the new sanitary sewer. They got all the old clay pipe out and replaced with new plastic pipe. And it was also one of those streets where there was multiple sewers. It happened over time where different sewers were built at different times. So we're actually able to like consolidate the asset, and while we're updating it, I'll actually build less sewer to take care of. So that's a good thing. Currently, they're installing new water main pipe.
Will people notice the better water pressure on things?
They'll notice. They should notice better water quality and better water pressure when we get done. When we talk about water quality, we talk about obviously when there's hydrant flushing and stuff, the water's always a little rusty and stirred up. But there's going to be a lot less of that, and you won't be in one of those neighborhoods where you have to call and ask, hey, the water's getting rusty again, can you flush it out? So when you're pulling off a new pipe in the road, you're not going to have that type of stuff going on.
Nice.
So it'll be good. And like always, when we're doing these water main jobs in these old neighborhoods, we're getting that lead service pipe out, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
We don't want people, we've said this before, we don't have a problem with lead getting in our water, but when we take those lead pipes out, we eliminate even the possibility of it ever happening. So that's a good thing.
Good point. All right, next we'll head over to Oak Ridge. What's going on there?
Oak Ridge, that's over in our Essex Heights neighborhood, and really it's kind of, we're replacing the water main, but mostly the impetus behind this is kind of to finish out a project that we started in, I think it was 2019, right before the pandemic. We had done a lot of water main and street work in that neighborhood, and Oak Ridge Drive is a little one-block stretch that was not included in that project. So on one end of the block, new street. On the other end of the block is new street, between Grovedale and Glen. This is just kind of cleaning up a little piece that didn't get included in the previous project. So I think what happened is after we got done with the other parts of it, these people felt left out, and we actually had a couple of them calling and, unhappy that they weren't included, but also asking, can we please get this done?
No, they're happy now. They look like William Deary's house back there.
It's his neighborhood, but he lives a little bit off of the work zone,
All right, next we've got MLK. Is there something going on MLK?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was just there where the Domino's is.
That's where we are. We're going through and replacing all the lead service pipes.
Oh,
So we've applied for a grant to do some street construction and water main replacement in 2025. But we also know we have lead sewer or lead water pipes out there, and we're basically doing a project to get all the lead pipe out of there in preparation for the upcoming project. Like we've talked about before, you know, we're mandated by the state to get all the lead service pipe out of there. So this has to be done, and if we can do it now and kind of tee up the area for the street project in the future, all the better, right?
yeah, because there's plans to go, I think, back to MLK for new streetscape, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we look at rebuilding the road,
Yeah.
building out the non-motorized facilities, putting in some lighting, making some more green space. We have room for trees, and redoing all the traffic signals. Basically giving it the once-over. But what we don't want is to be, when that project goes forward, we do not want to be slowed down or hindered by this lead service problem. So this is just going to get that out of the way. It's also going to get people not having to worry about lead service pipes up to
That'd
their
be
house.
nice.
So, you know, there's like two upsides to it. Really no downside.
When you can kill two birds with one stone, and that's what's happening over on Arnold and Cooper, because there's a state project going on Cooper, and then you've got something going on Arnold.
Right. Well, on Arnold, that's where we got some. We're just replacing the water main. That's one of those streets that has a very undersized pipe. It's a 4-inch pipe. These days, we don't build anything less than 8-inch. So it's very small and it's old. So that means it's corroded and it's lost a lot of its capacity. That impacts fire flows. It impacts water quality. So we're putting in new 8-inch pipe, and then as part of that, again, got to replace all the lead water services. So that's what's happening there on Cooper. It did impact Cooper traffic for about a week, maybe a little bit more. We had to run the new pipe for Arnold across Cooper Street.
So is that what was going on?
Yeah, Cooper Street had to be closed. We ran the pipe across the street. It's one of those things, though. It's interesting. You know, it takes about a day to run the pipe across, but you have to take the time to do all the testing of it.
Oh.
You can't just run it across the street and put it into service. You got to pressure test it, make sure it's not leaking. You got to disinfect it and flush it, sample it. You got to make sure that there's have consecutive tests to show that there's no bacterias in there. You know, before you hook it up, you got to make sure it's safe, not only for the people on Arnold, but for everybody else who's using the water system. You don't want to have, something getting in there that's not good. So, so we run it across in a day. We do the testing for a week, and then we hook it up. So in the end, it takes about 7 to 10 days to do two days of work.
Yeah.
But that time is valuable, and there's no way around it. It's certainly not nothing you're going to compromise on or cut corners on.
We appreciate your update, and thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Troy White from the City of Jackson Department of Engineering with their busy construction season.